Kia ora, good evening. This is Mary Joseph coming live from Hamilton. I'm a licensed immigration advisor with AJV Services. We're based very much in the region of Waikato, and we are based in Hamilton CBD. Our address is 426 Victoria Street. It's right in the central of the city. So we are an education and migration services company, and we successfully have recruited students from many different nationalities, from many different countries, to come and study in New Zealand at all the universities, government polytechnics, and high quality private training establishments, which are called PTEs. So we do these live sessions with an aim that all our AJV clients who are currently working with us can get access to immigration advice directly from a licensed immigration advisor. So I myself, Arun Jacob, Turika Mehra, and Navya Sikka, we have 4 licensed immigration advisors at the moment. We all come live every other day, 4 times a week, so that we are more accessible and our clients can directly hear from us, and also prospective clients can reach out to us and get immigration advice. So that's what we do. So that's the agenda of this live session. So certain ground rules would be there, but however, I would start this session today because we have changed the format a bit around of these live sessions. We start off with talking about a particular institution because it often takes time for people to come in on live. Because also today I'm a bit late. There was a bit of a technical issue with setting it up, but anyways, so it takes a bit of time for people to come live and watch the session. So during that time, I'll take the opportunity to talk about one particular institution. So this today, I'm going to talk about Manukau Institute of Technology. They're a government polytechnic. They're also called ITP. It's Institutes of Technology and Polytechnic, according to how the government has framed them. So Manukau Institute of Technology is based in Auckland region, which is um, one of the largest cities actually the largest cities in New Zealand, which is Auckland. And Auckland extends from North Shore to Manukau, which is the outer end of the city. So Manukau is like another suburb of Auckland, which is about 30 to 40 minutes away from CBD. So Manukau is another place, and the institute is located in Manukau. It's not another city because I think a lot of people do get confused that Manukau is probably another city and it's not in Auckland. It's very much in the Auckland region, so we call it region or province here in New Zealand. So like how I started off saying I'm from the Waikato region. Likewise, Manukau is in Auckland region. So Manukau is one of the largest government polytechnics, very, very well recognized. And they have some really amazing programs. Now, why, as a student, as an international student, you should consider a government polytechnic and not a university? Or I wouldn't say why not, but I'd say what is the difference studying between a university and studying at a government polytechnic? So universities are they are partially government owned and funded. Okay, however, they have their own what do you say operational, not getting the word, but they do have their own methods of doing things. And also universities, sorry, governance, so their governance is different. They handle things there. It's like in some countries they call it autonomous, it's run by themselves. Yeah. They have grants and things like that which are funded into the universities, so they're not owned by the government. And universities in New Zealand, their goals are to academically it's academic excellence, basically, that people come in and study and go on to becoming scholars and professors and things like that. So their goal is that to academically excel the people who study there. So their programs are very intensive. Okay. However, government polytechnics work with a different aim. So the government polytechnics are owned and governed by the government of New Zealand. So they could be as large as a university in terms of the strength and the size of the university itself. And the programs also pretty much, universities and government polytechnics have a range of programs right from certificate foundation level year, which is basically available for high schoolers, who pass our high school. From there, they've also got English programs, English language programs, and it goes way up to PhD. Likewise, some government polytechnics also do have, higher degrees. However, most 90% of the polytechnics, in fact, yeah, just 90% of the polytechnics have only up to level 9, which is a master's degree. So now the goal, coming back to the goal and aim of a government polytechnic, is to basically provide employable workforce. So they work with the government and the industry to come up with programs where eventually their graduates are pumped back into the system as skilled workforce. So their goal is that. So what happens is, it's important to understand when you study at a government polytechnic, the programs are very industry focused. It's very practical in nature. So the outcomes, I wouldn't say they're bad outcomes at the university. No, that's wrong for me to say. However, the study at a university is very, very academic. It's very difficult in terms of if somebody is looking and learning more practical knowledge about a subject, the best thing will be to go to a government polytechnic and not to a university. Also, there's a huge fee difference. They're nearly $10,000 per annum. There is a fee difference. Okay. And also government polytechnics, as I said, they're more industry focused. They're smaller in size in terms of classes. However, the outcomes are brilliant. So it really doesn't matter where you study, honestly. Study at a university, study at a government polytechnic. At the end of the day, you get NZQA certificate levels, okay? Besides that, you gain skills, which is more important for the employer. However, if you say, okay, I've got a particular skill in your CV, but you don't have a practical exposure to it, that is where the problem arises. So as a company, we have not seen differences of outcomes between government polytechnics and universities. They're all the same. And the third category is the private training establishments, which is PTs, which are owned and run by private, organizations. Their programs are also highly industry focused. While they're not owned and governed by the government, their programs also very, very highly industry focused, and they just focus in one or two areas or industries. So they're even more focused when it comes to industry outcomes. Okay. So Manukau Institute of Technology is, as I said, based in Auckland. They've got programs in engineering. They've got an amazing engineering technology program, which majors in civil, mechanical, power, and electronics. They also have a construction management program. All these programs at graduate diploma levels, they do not have at this stage. They do not have any master's degrees. Manukau Institute of Technology does not have. Their website is www.mit Manukau at ac.nz. So they don't have any masters at the moment. However, their graduate diploma programs have amazing outcomes, and we've got a lot of students studying their programs. They also do very good nursing programs, bachelors in nursing, and they've got they also have a very good maritime school. So their programs in supply and logistics are also very, very strong. The bachelor's degrees in IT, management, and engineering are very good. Now, for example, the graduate diplomas, what happens is if you come for a graduate diploma in, say, engineering in any of the strands, you will be eligible only for a 1-year post-study work visa when you study here in Auckland. However, there is an alternative path. If you're a bachelor's degree holder from your home country, you could apply for cross credits into the Bachelor's of Technology with MIT. This way, they've obviously your course duration will be slightly longer because our studies is very, I mean, from your home country, the studies is very different, and New Zealand is very different. So they end up getting cross credited only for about 1.5 year. That means you'll have to study for 1.5 year. However, you will have to see that there is a benefit that you get you basically graduate with a double bachelor's. So you've got a home country bachelor's and you've got a New Zealand bachelor's, which also gives you direct eligibility into any kind of registrations or professional accreditation with the Institute of Professional Engineers New Zealand. Besides that, you study longer, so your skills become more stronger, and also you do an industry project within your final the last semester, so that adds a lot of practical exposure. And besides that, the most important thing, or second most important thing, is you get a 3 years post study work visa if you take that pathway. And the fourth option will be that your spouse can accompany with you on that program, which is not possible with a graduate diploma. So there are a lot of advantages of this, and all you engineering graduates looking forward to come to New Zealand to study a graduate diploma, you may want to talk to us about how this will work, because graduate diplomas, you cannot bring your spouses on a work visa. They cannot accompany you. However, um, on a graduate diploma in highway engineering, yes, they can, which is available at another school and not with, or the construction management, okay, which is again available with another school. So this is what I would like to advise about one MIT. If you'd like to, Manukau Institute of Technology, we call it short MIT. So if you guys are interested, please do send us an email to info@ajvglobal.com for us to get back to you with more information on Manukau Institute of Technology. We work very, very closely with them. Their programs are amazing and the outcomes are just brilliant. So yeah, so let's get into the questions. I'm noticing that there are people joining in, but the questions have still not started much. I think just there are about 4 comments. So let's dive into the comments now and start answering them. So certain ground rules for the session. AJV students start, of course, with saying, "Hi, I'm an AJV client, and I would my advisor is so and so." If you are not an AJV client, then my recommendation would be for you to give me your contact information, because what happens is there are times that these sessions get disconnected, and it becomes very difficult for us to get in touch with you post the session. We so it will be best if you can give me your contact information so that we can connect back with you. Anybody not giving me your phone numbers, sorry, I won't be able to answer that for you. Okay, great. So just let's dive into those questions. I'm just going to quickly see if my team has something for me to say. Okay, so they've already started, you know, giving responses to some of the questions over there. So, okay. Okay, so we've got my beautiful team on standby. They all jump in first thing, actually. Yeah. And yeah, so they're here as well to listen to the live session, and all these sessions really help the team as well to upgrade their skills. We believe in Kaizen, which is continuous learning. It's a very Japanese term. It's a philosophy. So and for that, myself and the entire management team also, we constantly crave to learn something new every single day. So it doesn't matter, you learn from anybody, absolutely. So yeah. Okay, so we've got some comments coming in, so let's start getting onto that. So we've got Alpesh Prajapati who says good. Okay, and he stopped and then he said, "Hi ma'am, how are you?" Thank you, Alpesh, I'm fine. um Nirosh Amar Singh, one of our students, he says, "Hi, it's 2040 in New Zealand. Have a good day. I'm going to sleep merry. By the way, I met Arun at Christchurch. It was nice. Are there any food science level 8 or above courses in polytechnics?" Okay. Nirosh, you've just come in. Please don't ask me this question. Yeah, please. Okay. So Nirosh is someone, he's smiling because he knows, sorry. So he knows that he has asked us a lot of questions in every live session. I mean, if you go back to at least about 20 live sessions of mine or our own or anybody else, I'm sure there's a question from Nirosh. But I'm glad you finally made it through all those, barriers, delays, everything. I'm glad you made it. And more importantly, what better that you could meet Arun within the first few days of coming to New Zealand. It happens very rarely, but I guess you're lucky in that sense. Okay, so yeah, so stay in touch and we'll take care of things for you. Okay. Yes. Unfortunately, there are no food science programs available at any of the polytechnics at a level 8. However, something close to food science is basically wine science or enology. It's not, I won't say close, but a lot of biotechnology students get into that. It's a graduate diploma, which is available at EIT. So that's a level 7. Yeah, I hope that answered yours. Okay, so Sunando says, "Hello, Mary. Felt very nice to see the AJV logo in the background during the presentation of the NZ India NZ match. Hope AJV sponsors the Australia match in March in Auckland and give us some free tickets." Oh, that's awesome. I will put in a word on that. So yeah, Australia match. Okay, let's see how it goes. The big boss is working on these things. So yeah, I'm sure he's made a note of this, Sunando. Thank you very much. And Sunando, thanks a lot for coming in. Sunando is one of our clients who's come in from the UK. His wife is studying, and he visited the office recently to give us the good news that he cracked an amazing opportunity. So he came in with a box of chocolates. So and we're still, still to get to the bottom of the box. So we're still not even half the way. Thank you so much, Sinando. And I must tell you that we've been having overwhelming amount of sweets at the office, because we've got all our wonderful clients coming with boxes of mithai and sweet and everything, chocolates and everything. Thank you so much, guys. But we really need to check our weight. So we might want to, probably hang out for a coffee or something like that. So please don't feel obliged to bring anything to the office when you all come. You all coming and meeting us is one of the biggest things. Okay. So yeah, it's not mandatory. It's not a competition. So just come in casually. We could always grab some coffee or something. So please feel free to come in even without a box of chocolates. Okay, so don't worry about it. Right. Sunil Kumar says hi. Then we've got another. Yeah, so there's somebody else called Mahesh Madhavan who says, "Hi, ma'am. Do you have any courses related to food hygiene, food safety, and hygiene course?" Mahesh, thanks for sharing your number. Yes, Mahesh, there are courses. In fact, the food technology programs do have papers on food safety and hygiene, because it is important. As a food technologist, you are required to keep very high levels of safety and things like that. So yes, there are programs available. And thanks for sharing your number. One of our team members will get in touch with you, and then you could, explore this further. Yeah. Thank you. Also, please note, when Nirosh had mentioned, I did not elaborate that food technologists are in the long-term skill shortage list for New Zealand. So you are at a very, very good advantage if you're going to come for a program in food technology or anything related to that. Yeah. Okay. Next is Nandu Dande. He says, if someone is on a student spouse dependent visa and receive job from skill shortage list, will she eligible for PR after 2 years of work? Nandlal, hi. Your question is very interesting and important. Yes, because I think a lot of people think that only the student. I'm answering this even without your number there, but because this is a very important question. Um, it's not necessary that only the student applicant will be the principal applicant for your resident visa in New Zealand. All of our clients, I think 50% or more, the spouses qualify even before when the student finishes, because the student is still studying and we proceed with the resident visa application, and that happens more than 60%. So yes, but you getting a job by itself will not qualify you for a resident visa. You need to apply for a visa. You have to change your visa category. So you will have to talk to us with this. So if you find a job, please connect with us. Our New Zealand number is 0800 696977. So it says 0800 my NZPR when you dial on the phone. So yeah, so basically you call us for a assessment, and if we do need to you know if we do need to assess or consult under a paid consultation, we will advise you. However, I'll be happy to look at your job offer and advise you further. Okay, thank you. Next, comment is Adnan Ahmad. Adnan, you must be over the moon. So Adnan and his wife have been waiting patiently for 8 months, and in fact, yesterday late night, we got the visa straight away. No call, no additional documentation, nothing, and they got the visa straight away. And Adnan was really, really happy about it, and we are too, because I was telling Adnan the same thing. He was shocked that, how is it possible that without any interview or any additional information, I got the visa. I mean, my wife got the visa. So that is the key, guys. I know that there are delays, but we as a team, we know exactly what immigration officers want to see in your file. So we ensure that we present it in such a way that there are no further questions and it is decision ready when they are ready to take a decision. So, in fact, I was sitting and doing the tally today, and through so much of difficulties over the past year with getting visas, we are probably tracking at 100% with respect to partnership cases. We have not lost a single one from for the entire 2019. So, and that is because of the way we present the applications, and we take pride in that. We don't want our student families to be separated. It's very, very important for us. And besides that, we're also tracking very high on student successes. In fact, so. Um, Immigration New Zealand we had a meeting earlier this week, and they have given us feedback that we are probably 15% higher than the average agencies in terms of our conversion rates. They're very happy with the way our applications are being presented, and it is an amazing feeling to know that, and to know that Immigration New Zealand is extremely happy. The Mumbai office is extremely happy with us. That's an amazing news. So yes, that's what it is. So next comment. Thank you very much, Adnan, and you guys. I know you had difficult times, but I'm glad the visas happened. Okay, thank you. Next comment, we have Manuel the vlogger. Okay, what do you vlog, Manuel? Okay. And he starts with saying, "Hi, Mari." It's actually not Mari, it's Mary, Mary. Okay. Hope you're doing well. How long does a Polytechnic Institute takes to provide with an offer letter for the course? Okay. So let me just quickly check. Right. So a government polytechnic can take anywhere between 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So it really depends on what program, whether you've applied for a master's, whether you've applied for a graduate diploma, or you've applied for a bachelor's with cross credits. It can take for minimum 2 weeks to up to 4 weeks sometimes. Depends on how busy they are. Some of the polytechnics have been a bit delayed because they are busy with the February and March sessions. So if you're working, yeah, it looks like you are working with us, Manuel. So I'm sure one of the advisors will pick it up and ensure that they follow up, because for us it's important that you get your offer on time. Yeah, it's really, really important. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, before I go, I'm so sorry. Before I get started, I was supposed to provide my license card. I do that, and I don't really know how I missed that out, but here it is. This is my license card, and I'm legally supposed to show evidence that I'm a licensed advisor before providing any kind of immigration advice. You can go up on the IA register and check. My number is 2018010050, or you can put down my name and search for it. Yep. And please put down the right spelling. It's Mary. I see a few of them spelling my name out as Marry, which is marry, which is getting married. So that's not what it is. It's Mary. Okay. Sunil Kumar says, I'm an AJV client. My wife is planning for a master's in civil, but we're a bit confused to do the master's or the graduate diploma. What will be your recommendation? Do they provide spouse and children visa? Number one, Sunil, if the visas, if your course is not qualifying for a work visa for your spouse, for you, of course we will not advise it. So the graduate diploma is in construction management, not civil, but in construction management specifically, is on the LTSSL. However, if you're going to do a civil engineering program, then we would recommend you to look at a master's or yeah, because if you go for a PG diploma, she won't qualify. Or you could do the bachelor's, which I just advised. Instead of doing the master's, she could do a bachelor's degree with a cross credit. Probably MIT will be the best choice, and she will be eligible for a 3 year post study work visa after the course, and you also will be eligible. So I would recommend actually a bachelor's of technology in civil engineering with a cross credit, because please do understand that the LTSSL requirement is also a bachelor's, not a master's. So jobs are available for people at bachelor's levels as well. The skill is the most important thing. Okay. Yeah. Right. Sunil Kumar says right now she's working same field with we are settled in Oman. Okay. So Sunil, I think yeah, it doesn't matter if she's got experience. Doing another bachelor's will only refresh her skills, and she will be better poised to crack a job. And there is a lot of requirements for people in the civil engineering with so much of infrastructure building happening here. I would request you to consider the Bachelor of Technology in Civil Engineering at MIT for that. Yeah. Um, may I know who's the advisor handling? Um, okay, so looks like Eunice is doing this. So Eunice, Sunil, my team says that you've got already an offer for a master's degree for 2020, and you're planning to defer your intake to next Feb, so that's fine. Have a discussion with Eunice, and I'm sure she will help you sort it out. As I just explained, um, masters will be quite complex as a course. So if you want something more easy on her so that she doesn't struggle, so a bachelor's will be a much better option. Yeah. Thank you. And you're saying which one will get help her get job? See, masters will be more very it will have some kind of research kind of papers, but bachelors will have more industry focus internships. You might want to have a look at what do you say? You might want to look at the papers before you take a call on that. Yeah. Thank you, Sunil. Right. We've got next comment from Pranav Subramaniam. Just a second, guys. I just want to take a sip of water. It's pretty warm here in New Zealand today. It's been raining. We had a very very wet morning. It was raining since last, I think, middle of the night till we it's about 10:30, 11 in the morning, and hence the heat. Okay. Next, we've got another AJV client who's Pranav. He says, "I'm an AJV client working with Jagrati. Thank you very much for choosing to work with us. Can you give me info regarding registration with NZ Psychological Association? I have finished my MSc Psychology." Okay, I'll be honest with you. I do not I'm not very well aware of the process for psychologists because we have not done any in the past. Okay, if you are working with Jagrati, I'm sure she will do a bit of research and come back to you on that. Um, so, Jagrati, can we have a chat about this, about Pranav, and help him out with these questions? Because occupational registration areas, number one, they keep changing requirements quite often, depending on what the requirement is in New Zealand, and their processes are normally very lengthy, right? So, if you've got an overseas qualification for any of the medical programs, you will be expected to do an assessment of your overseas qualification and see whether it's an exempt and whether it matches the requirement. So this is my general understanding. So there will be some form of an assessment, and then there could be an advice whether for you to study further or for you to be able to apply for a registration directly, apply for a license or sit an exam. So, for example, nurses have CAP, so they have to do something called a competency assessment program. However, prior to that, they're supposed to get their qualifications assessed by the nursing council. So, nursing council does check to see if their qualifications meet the nursing requirement, registration requirement, and then they do this 13 weeks CAP program, which is called competency assessment program. So, likewise, I'm thinking there should be something for psychology as well, because you need to be a clinical psychologist in New Zealand. You need to have a registration and a license. So, um, So Pranav, I would suggest you have a word with Jagrati, and we will, because I don't want to give you half-baked information, and this is a platform that I really cannot do research and give you an answer on. So the best thing would be for you to, you know, take this offline, and we'll discuss, and Jagrati will send you the required information. Okay. Right. We have come on a standstill with questions on Facebook. Let's quickly jump into YouTube and see what's happening there. Okay, there are quite a few comments here, but looks like a lot of them have not given numbers. Okay, Shiva Das says, I'm an HAV student under supervision of Mubaraka. Date of birth and the date of birth in the birth certificate is different from DOB in the SLC, 10th certificate and passport, which are the same. Okay, so this is a bit of a issue, Shiva. If your birth certificate has a different birth certificate, birth date of birth, I won't say it will be an issue right away because you won't provide your birth certificate now when you apply for your student visa. However, in the future there could be complications as to then if your date of birth is correct on your birth certificate, that means all your other identity proofs are having an incorrect date of birth. Do you see what the problem is? Yeah. New Zealand will not understand, the government, the INZ will not understand that it's common in India. However, your date of birth is your identity. Your name and your date of birth in combination is your identity. So if that itself there is a discrepancy, they'll think that your documents are not genuine. So if you could let me discuss this. I would suggest you your advisor Mubarak and I'll have a chat on this and see what we can do. I will also try and write to INZ and find out, because obviously you're coming here all the way to eventually consider and apply for a resident visa, and at that point in time I don't want to throw the bomb on you saying that it'll be a problem. So let's have try and have this sorted even before you leave home, okay, to come and study here in New Zealand. So, Mubaraka, please discuss this with me. Thank you. Okay. Arvind says, can you give me some info on job search visa? Okay, sorry. Arvind has given his number as well. Um, yes. So there are certain stages of a skilled migrant category resident application when you are overseas. If you do not have a job offer from an employer in New Zealand, you will be then offered up. The entire process will be the same of applying for resident visa. It'll take up to 15 months. However, if you do not have a job offer, you do not meet one of the two criteria that you're supposed to meet apart from having points. So they give you a 12 months job search visa to travel to New Zealand and meet one of those conditions, which is to find employment in New Zealand. So yes, it is linked to the skilled migrant category resident visa application, Arvind. So send us an email at info@hjvglobal.com with your CVs, and we will assess. One of my advisors, our advisors, will assess and get back to you with your whether you do qualify and things like that. And if you do, they will explain the situation to you. Yeah. Thank you. Some of the questions are already answered of Manuel, Sunando, Nirosh, etc. Okay. We've got somebody called Saad who's also posted a question, but he has not given his number, I think. Saad, I see that you've done a master's in computer science and a 9.5 years of experience as a web developer. My age is 32. Kindly know if I'm eligible for migration. Please don't ask me questions like this. How do I expect me to just assess this on a platform like this? Because there's so much of information that will be required. However, on the outset, there is a possibility that you'll qualify, but now I cannot tell you like this, Sad. So I would suggest you send us an email to immigrationadvisor@hjvglobal.com. Send an email with your CV and of your wife if you're married, and we will assess and come back to you. If your wife is not working, you can at least provide me details of her highest qualification, and if she'll meet an IELTS score of 6.5. Send that information through. We will assess and get back to you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, looks like Pranav's question was only half answered. Pranav also asked a second question. He says, in short, in I have some short internship work experience which is under 5 months. I don't have a certificate of evidence for them. Should I still include them in my CV and resume? So Pranav, if you don't have documents to back up your work experiences, please don't mention that. It is pointless. Yes, as a skill you would have gained something from there, which you could put it down as skills. But practically, how will you prove if you're telling that I do have experience? Where is the documentation for that? So it's best to um, you know, avoid complications by stating things like this, because if you cannot provide documentation for something that you're claiming on the application form, the visa application form, you will eventually be in trouble. And CV is a part of the application, so you need to watch out for that, Pranav. Team, please ensure that this is addressed. Pranav's queries are addressed. Thank you. Isaac Abraham, thank you for sharing your number. He says, hi, I've received an offer from University of Canterbury for pursuing Master of Data Science. Should I go for graduate diploma, PG diploma, Masters? My plan is to get residence. Okay, honestly, guys, I know, I understand everybody asks us this question saying that, oh, should we do, what should we study? All I can tell you is it doesn't really matter where you study, graduate diploma, sorry, universities, government polytechnics, OPTs, as long as they're all under the government, approval. Level of the course is not important. Bachelor's level doesn't matter. Master's level doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what level also you're studying. What is important? Yes, it matters in terms of post-study work visa because there are restrictions on that. However, what is more important is to understand the papers, because New Zealand is a country that is heavily invested in the skills of the people who are applying for jobs. So if you do not have the practical skills, then you will not be hired. You're not a ideal candidate for the employer. So my recommendation would be is to focus on the papers, so that you study what you really want to learn. That's important. Yeah. PG diploma is basically the first year of masters, and the second year of masters will be a research paper. So if you're not keen on research, and if you don't want to become a PhD candidate, or you don't want to get into teaching or being in consulting business right straight away, don't look at the masters, look at PG diploma. And if you have a spouse, then obviously you will have to look at a masters, because only then you will be able to support your spouse for a work visa. So these are the things that you need to take care of. Okay. I hope I've answered your question, Isaac. My team will get in touch with you. If you've not applied through us, you might want to consider that seriously. Thank you. Because these questions your agents should have answered if you are working with somebody else. Let me check if now my team is not mentioned anything, so of course you're not you're not working with us, or you've not mentioned something as well. Okay. Next, we've got Jay Arora says, ma'am, I've heard that getting PR is very tough nowadays. I was planning to do graduate diploma in hospitality and tourism, but I've heard that getting PR is very tough for this course. Okay. Again, you'll have to remember that if you're coming for an area which is not in the skill shortage list, that means you're competing with other New Zealanders for that position. Resident visa is not based on proving at any point in time that there were no New Zealanders for that position, but saying that there are skill jobs. Please understand that over the past 1.5 year, there are a lot of applications that have been sitting in the queue and have not been assessed. And that is the only reason that there are problems and delays, Jay. So, yeah, I've answered your question, Jay, but you need to give me your phone number so that we can discuss this further. Yeah. So, why don't you just leave us a phone number and we'll be able to help you further on this. Okay. Thank you. Next question, Rohit Bakshi. Rohit, you have not given your phone number. Can you please come back and add your phone number so that I can answer your question? Thank you. Nandik Gopal Chandran. He says he's given his number. He says, how much time will it take to convert from job search visa to work permit after getting a job offer? I didn't understand your question, number one. So I'm thinking, You think that a job search visa is a different thing from a work visa. Okay. So job search visa is the same thing as a work visa. So if you're asking about job search visa to a resident visa, it might take about a month, month and a half to apply after that. After you get a job on a job search visa, you'll be able to apply for a resident visa. Right now, there are huge changes in time. So you don't have to wait. As soon as you get an offer, you apply for your resident visa, and because they've already pre-assessed most of your background, I'm assuming that it should not take more than a month. However, we'll have to check at that point in time when you're applying, what is the policy say. I mean, what does the news on the immigration website say as how long it's going to take. Yeah, so it's all point in time, guys. We'll have to always keep referring at what happens at that point in time. Okay. Prashant Chauhan says, I'm a happy AJV. I'm a AJV client. May I know the approximate time and that takes for partner or student work visa nowadays? Very difficult for me to say, but I will say on an average 4 months. You have to be prepared, Prashant, because we are getting some applications through earlier as well, but 4 months is what we are anticipating. And immigration has already told us that yes, it will take about 4 months. Yeah, that's what it is. Right. Anybody else asking anybody any other questions you might want to ask now? Rohit Bakshi, I have not answered your question because you have not given me a number. Um, Also, it looks like you're already here in New Zealand and you're obviously not working with us for your resident application, so I really can't help you. Um, but anybody else who's watching this session and were dreaming about asking me a question, you better ask me that now because we're close to wrapping up. In another 9 minutes, we will close. So if there's any other questions you'd like to ask, please ask now. Right. So I'm just going to give you some quick what do you say, contact information before we leave. So if you're trying to call us in from within India on a toll free number, it is 1800 103 6525. That's our India toll free number. And our onshore New Zealand toll free number is 0800 696977. So it's a toll free number. Please feel free to call. If you would like to send your inquiry through, you can send it through info@ajvglobal.com. We will read it through. And if you're looking at migration opportunities, please send your CV of yourself and of your wife. And only then we will be able to assess completely. Yeah. Right. Any other questions? Let me see. Okay. No comments from my team, so I'm understanding that I'm doing well. Okay. Okay, so we've got someone who's asking. Nyasa Gurung says, "Hi Mary, for residency, do we need to have full-time contract or part-time permanent for residency?" Nyasa, I'm thinking you're here in New Zealand. I would say that you do need to have a full-time contract of a minimum 30 hours per week. That is the requirement. But if you do have 30 hours but your offer says part-time, you might want to talk to me in person about this. We can see how we can work it out. Okay. So as I said, my number is, or our toll free number is 0800 696977. I'm not in the office tomorrow in case you want to call me. Best will be to ring me on Friday. Yeah. Thank you. Sudipta Day says hello. Hello. Hi, Sudipta. What is the criteria to get a job in New Zealand? Go to YouTube and look for Arun Jacob or HIV Global. You will find a video which has this question. It's a very, very good and elaborate question about finding jobs in New Zealand. Sorry, video. It talks clearly about the job criteria and how to find a job, and if you, and the answer is it's going to be tough, but why is the explanation given there. You can have a look on that the YouTube video, I would suggest. Yeah, thank you. Okay, next question. YouTube. Ahmed Mahfouz. I'm an AJV student. What is a job and career opportunity in the sector of healthcare assistant? Very, very good job jobs available. It's an area that needs registration and licensing, so it is a high priority area that and you also have pay equity. There's something called pay equity in New Zealand. For certain jobs, there is a minimum salary you will get if you have a certain qualification. So likewise for healthcare, if you have a level 4 qualification as a healthcare assistant, then you are assured a salary of 2550, which also matches the requirement of the SMC threshold. In fact, I have heard, I do not have a lot of cases in that, but I have heard that resident visas are approved within 4 to 6 months for people who are a healthcare assistant, because there is a very, very high and regional requirement for healthcare assistants. Okay. I hope I've answered that question for you. Thank you. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap up now because we don't have any more questions. I hope you guys enjoyed um, my a bit of explanation about MIT, Manukau Institute of Technology. Please do like and share this video. It will be available in the AJV Global page and in YouTube. Please like and share. It is very important that I know for a fact that a lot of people are misguided because they don't reach out for the information before they start the process. I know that there's so many people who come to our office here in Hamilton and say we wish we had, you know, contacted you prior to coming to New Zealand because we've come into bad programs, or they have been terribly misguided in terms of the outcomes of the course. So we as an agency are very, very careful about the kind of programs that we offer, because eventually we need to ensure the outcomes are there, they do find jobs and there is a pathway for them. So we are very, very particular about that because we're based here in New Zealand and we are answerable to you guys. Not just that, we'd like to live peacefully, so we want to have more we want to have neighbors, like good, migrants coming into New Zealand as our neighbors, and we want to ensure that we do the right thing for you. It's only ethically right that we always put you ahead of our interests. So yes, we are friendly and frank, and we always do the right thing in terms of ensuring that if you don't have a career, we'll tell you. Like when people call me and ask, oh, you know what, I want to do hairdressing, and we tell them it's pointless because it's going to be very close to impossible to become a resident under that. So yeah, so do have a word with us, and so yeah, so that's what it is. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. We're almost about to close. We don't have any more questions or comments, so I'm about to close. Thank you very much, and good night, and kakiteano. See you next week. Thank you, guys.